You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I'm back. Rodrance for Black and White Live. Well, my goodness. We've got an update to DeShaun Watson and the whole situation involving his legalities and why he seems to be, quote-unquote, super confident, I guess, in the suit he's got going on. The other day, one of the things I brought up was the lack of media coverage. I mean, they've covered this very little. And why? Because it doesn't fit their narrative. It's one of the oddest cases because all of a sudden Me Too just kind of disappeared, right? Believe all women. That disappeared almost immediately. And it's because, let's face it, he's a black quarterback. That's the day and time we live in. Color now takes precedent. There seems to be layers of social justice, and that's why this thing doesn't get the coverage that it should. Well, incredibly protected. I mean, remember Michael Vick and how all of that was nonstop news cycle coverage? ESPN would be having an update, a segment on this every single day that this trial and that this case was still going on. They still don't do it. They still don't. You got people like Florio out there weirdly trying to defend DeShaun Watson, in my opinion, anyway. And this is from Florio. Neither DeShaun Watson nor his representatives have said very much publicly about the civil and criminal legal proceedings that have put his career on ice with pay for the 2020 season. In a recent interview with Ryan Clark of ESPN, Watson's agent said more than he has at any time since the controversy emerged in March. Quote, there's legal reasons we can't expound on right now the way we'd like to, Dave Moglietta said via the Houston Chronicle. But the one thing I can say is I know who DeShaun is. I think people around the NFL know who DeShaun is. That's the reason the market for DeShaun was still as hot as it was. The market was indeed hot, with both the Panthers and Dolphins seriously pursuing a trade as the deadline approached. However, Dolphins owner Stephen Ross wouldn't authorize the trade unless all 22 civil lawsuits were settled. By the way, 18 of the 22 plaintiffs were ready to settle. There were 4 that did not want to settle. That's also per PFT. Regardless of the high degree of confidence that lingers, eventually things will work out for Watson. Quote, I don't think anybody who's met DeShaun knows who he is, Mugilata told Clark. We know what the truth is, and that's the good thing about the truth. No matter what, the truth is the truth. Here we go with a bunch of legal speak mumbo-jumbo from his lawyer. Whether it takes 1 day or 2 days or a year for it to come out, the truth is the truth. Portions of the truth are inconvenient for Watson, but he hasn't run from it. Yes, he has a habit of arranging massage therapy sessions with strangers he found on social media. Yes, as his lawyer, Rusty Hardin, said, some of those therapy sessions became consensual encounters. Watson has, at times, denied wrongdoing. We're pretty confident how this thing plays out, Mugilata said. He's super confident in how it plays out. He's still one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. He will be when he gets back on the field. He'll continue to have all-pro and phenomenal career moving forward. Mugliata's only limit is that the public nature of Watson's career has caused him to be heavily scrutinized and criticized. It should. In today's society, unfortunately, it's not about who's right. It's about who's first. So it's unfortunate, but as somebody who's considered a public figure, certain things you've got to deal with. It's unfortunate, but we'll deal with that. The not so right, but first concept arguably doesn't apply, whereas here, it's the right to say that 22 people are accusing Watson of improper behavior. That said, many of the decisions on what did or didn't happen without knowing all of the facts. But that's how the court of public opinion operates. The verdict is passed long before the actual trial begins, if there ever even is one. Well, look, again, I'm going to go back to what I've been saying this whole time. am I going to hold a franchise quarterback in the NFL to a higher standard than a running back or a safety or a cornerback or a kicker? Yes, absolutely. They're considered, basically, they need the best judgment on and off the field of any sports player in all of sports. They are the CEO on the field of that team. They need to conduct themselves on and off the field as such. Again, let's just take all the things we know about certain players throughout the year, or throughout time. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Donovan McNabb, Dante Culpepper, Dan Marino, Joe Montana, Steve Young, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, the list goes on, right? Randall Cunningham, all these guys. And you can't think of too much that has happened off the field that seems this egregious, right? There is a serial factor to all this. He kept doing this behavior, and by behavior I mean setting up massage therapy sessions multiple upon multiple times. And that's the thing, that regardless of what happens, that does make this sinister, okay? And he may be found not guilty. That's great, but you still got terrible judgment, okay? Or you wouldn't put yourself in that position. By the way, all these teams, NFL teams, Texans, whatever, they hook these guys up with their own masseuses, okay? They provide them on behalf of the team. Why? So things like this doesn't happen. I think it makes him look incredibly bad that right, wrong, or indifferent consensual things did happen. Well, that means things did happen. And it makes you wonder, well, did that put something in your head that maybe wasn't there with all parties? I still think it looks bad. I still wouldn't want this guy as my quarterback. Sorry, not sorry. So, the legal team is super confident. We know how this works. Regardless of what happens, provided he doesn't go to prison, there is a criminal side. If he doesn't go to prison, they'll probably settle, and absolutely some NFL team will trade for this guy, and half the fan base will be happy. The other half will be like, well, we just sold our soul to the devil. Tell me what you think, Black and White Live fans. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.